Welcome, Rabbi Isai, to another tiny Chazara Shiur. I know last sugya was oversized, was a very long sugya, but this sugya is a very, very small sugya. It is connected to last sugya, but we don't need to know last sugya in order to understand this, so you can understand this on a fresh slate. So let's go right ahead, sugya Chav Gimel. First thing that we need to know is one thing is a apotropos, or apotropos, whatever it is, doesn't matter how you pronounce it. What is apotropos? So let's say there's a situation as follows. There are young children who just lost their father. Their father just passed away. Okay, very sad situation. But the father left a big inheritance. He had fields, properties, and everything. So the kids can actually get money from it. But the kids don't know how to manage it. They don't know how to work in the field. They don't know how to manage the properties. So they're just going to go to the field and play in the mud. They're not going to grow anything. They're not going to be able to get any money from it. So what do? Bezin hires apotropos, a guardian, a volunteer who's totally voluntary, who's doing this for the mitzvah. Okay, and he goes down and he manages the field, and he gives all the produce, everything that grows out, he gives it to the young children, and he works in the field until the children grow up. Once the children grow up, then they can manage the field themselves. But in the meantime, we got a apotropos, a volunteer guardian, to guard over these things for these children until they grow up. Okay, now let's move on to our sugya. Our sugya speaks about a very similar and familiar case that we spoke about in last sugya, but different. If there is someone, Baal Bayis, who owns a field, and he worked in his field all year, he grew trees, wheat, whatever it is, and right before the end of the season, unfortunately, he gets captured. So now what do we do with all this that already grew? What do we do? So Zog Gemara, the thing is, get a apotropos. Beis Din will go down and hire apotropos, that the apotropos should cut all these trees and put away the produce for the Baal Bayis. Leave it until the Baal Bayis comes back. And then bring down a relative to continue managing the field. That means a karev, a relative who is closest to the Baal Bayis, who actually would inherit it if we find out that the Baal Bayis passed away. So if the Baal Bayis comes back, then the karev will keep a percentage and give a percentage to the Baal Bayis. But as long as if we didn't hear that the Baal Bayis came back, then he will get it himself, right? If we hear they passed away, then the karev will get everything himself. So, frankly, Gemara, 1 second, hey. If apotropos was such a good deal that he put everything away for the Baal Bayis, why send the karev down to the field who is only going to get like an artist, like a sharecropper? Right? If the Baal Bayis comes back, the karev is going to get like a sharecropper. He's going to get 25%, as we explained last sugya. Right? So, 1 second. Why don't we just send a apotropos for all the time so the Baal Bayis can get 100% from all the time? Doesn't that look better for the Baal Bayis? And for the Gemara, look, apotropos is someone who does apotropos is someone who does it for the mitzvah. Meaning he's going to do it because maybe a young child can't manage their fields, or someone was just captured, so he'll manage his fields for right now. For a time, for a short while, until the cotton grows up, Beis Din will be able to find apotropos, a volunteer who's able to do it for the mitzvah. But for a bearded person, an older man, someone that's not a katan, Beis Din are not going to find someone. No one's going to want to volunteer to be a apotropos for a older man. So for the beginning, maybe there's going to be an apotropos. But for indefinitely, for I don't know how long amount of time, people are not ready to be apotropos, and Beis Din will not find them. And that is the end of our sugya. So now please look inside your Gemara. Open up your Gemara, even if you're watching this later. Open up your Gemara to Daf Lamed Tes Amud Aleph, closer to the bottom of the page. Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Shmuel. We are holding Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Shmuel. Please find a place and actually say along with us. That way the Torah gets kept inside of you without getting forgotten, as it said in Gemara. When you use out all your body to serve Hashem. Okay. Amar Rav Yehuda, let's start. Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Shmuel. Rav Yehuda said in the name of Shmuel, שבוי, שנשבה, a captive was taken captive. והניח, come on, he left a stalk of wheat. Liktzer to cut. Anavim livtzer, or olives to be cut, to be harvested. Tamarim ligder, dates to be harvested. Or zaysim limsoik, or olives to pick. So what do? Since it's all ready? Beis Din yerdin l'nechasav. Beis Din go down to his belongings. Uma'amidin apotropos, and they establish a volunteer guardian. The kaitzer, the voitzer, the goyder, the moisik, these are all terms for harvesting. Different fruits have different terms. Different foods have different terms. The achakach, and afterwards, maridim karol and chasav. We bring down the relative as the regular din. We bring down our relative to manage the fields for the rest of the time. We should establish apotropos lo'olam forever. And for the Gemara, apotrepa for bearded people, meaning for older people, for adults, we don't establish. We only establish apotrepas for children, not for adults. Sorry, adults. Rashi. Velukim, first wide line. Velukim apotrepas lo'olam. Velukim apotrepas lo'olam. Fred, the Gemara asked. Sorry, we missed one Rashi before that. First wide lines. Ma'amidin apotropos, we establish apotropos. Lahachnis davar amuchan, to bring in all the ready fruits, to bring in whatever is ready. V'yehei shamur l'balam, and it should be guarded in storage for the owners, for when the owners come back. But afterwards, after we put everything that was ready away, because the Baal Bayis really worked on it all this time, so after we put that all away, we bring down a relative to enhance the field, to bring it up in value, and this relative will take like a sharecropper. That means he takes a percentage. You should establish a apotropos forever. Who won't take ever? Who won't take anything? Right? Apotropos puts everything away for the Baal Bayis. That comes out much better for the Baal Bayis. So let's do that. And for the Gemara, we don't establish apotropos for bearded people. What does that mean? Ain't based in Turkey. Based in Don Hassel. Levakesh, to look for apotropos, la'anoshim g'daylim, for big people, for adults. Shenismal is the kind that their beard already filled. Lefi shaloyim tzu, because Beis Din will not find such a person. Beis Din will not find someone that's ready to volunteer for adults. The Bish Lamali asked me, because all is right for orphans, for children. Ika the Shamalahu, there's someone who's going to hear about it and he's going to have compassion. The have a apotropos l'dvar mitzvah, and he's going to be apotropos for this mitzvah thing. Avaladiknini, but for children. Sorry, avaladiknini, but for bearded people, lo yishamilu, they're not going to listen, and they're not going to want to go down to. They're not going to want to go down to this field. And with that, we conclude this tiny sugya. Akasha and Freilich and Pesach.